Wow, y'all, I just saw episode 5, The Last of Us, Endure and Survive. Whew. It was so good, so intense. While attempting to invade the rebels, Joel and Ellie cross paths with the most unwanted man in Kansas City, Henry. Kathleen continues her hunt. This Kathleen, she was relentless. She just wanted she wanted Henry dead by any means necessary. So they started off, it was a mob of people saying F the Fed, it was lots of violence, it was just a lot of shooting and everything. They really did this episode good. I mean, I'm still at loss with words and everything. So, picking up from the last episode, Sam and Henry, they was hiding from Catherine because, Henry, he was the most wanted man in Kansas City. So, I was like, damn, man, like Henry and his brother Sam was just on a run. So that's what they was doing this whole episode, just being on a run. But I really just like all these actors, all these actors play a good job in this episode. And I mean, Kathleen, she was continuing her hunt to find Henry and Sam by any means necessary, y'all. So she was going door to door looking for Henry. She had all her men on all the roofs and everywhere. So it was just crazy. It was really crazy. So they pick back up Henry and Sam. They go into the building where Joel and Ellie was at. So they had guns on them and stuff and everything. And Henry, he just wanted to, he just really wanted a chance. He wanted to keep surviving. So they all got together and then they was talking and everything. And, I think at first Joe, he didn't want to do it because, him and Ellie is so close. So, Joe was just like, he was looking at Ellie. Ellie looked at Joe like, all right, I guess we're going to trust him. So it was, man, it was good though. It was good. But one thing about Sam, his brother was deaf. So throughout the episode, whenever Henry would talk to Sam, he would talk to him in sign language and stuff. So that was really good and everything. So Henry had said that he had saw Joe shooting at the laundromat. He was looking at him from the last episode. So he saw the whole thing had happened. So that's how he knew where he was at. So when they came there and pointed them with the guns, he already knew where their location was at. So it was wild. Y'all, this episode was just so wild. Man. So basically Henry was telling Joe, you gotta trust him, and everything. So that's what Joe did. He trusted him. So all of them, Henry, Joe, Ellie, Sam, they was all there eating food because I knew Henry and Sam, they had a whole lot of food and everything. So once they did that, they all decided they was going to try to think of a plan to get away from Catherine people because y'all know they was just scouting everywhere. So they had to do that. So it was just crazy. So Henry said that they was going underground, west side north. That's where they said they was going underground, west side north. So that's where they was going. So Henry had told him that he had knew somebody that had already checked out the area. He said 3 years ago, but they was like, what about now? So they went down there, and I was just like, they had to be careful. So it was okay when they went down there. They came across this big artwork when they was going underground. It was like a lot of artwork around. So they was all looking at it. And Sam wanted to draw something, but Joel pulled him back and said, you shouldn't do that right now. So that's why, he didn't do that. So then Ellie and Sam, it was cool. They was down there playing soccer and everything. But I was just like, I knew they had to be on the run because we knew Catherine people was going door by door. So yeah, they was on the run. So they kept on going, and this was a little. It was it was just like in a video game. They was all on the run, and then it was crazy. They was all on the run, so they was in the neighborhood. The neighborhood had said Bank of America, so then they went to the garage, and then they came out into the neighborhood, and then all of a sudden, boom, boom. Bro, I was like it was a sniper shooting them from a distance in this building, like way down the street in the neighborhood. So this is when it picks up, y'all. So Joe, he said, y'all stay here. Joe went hard. He said, y'all stay here. He went out there and he get to the sniper. He had to go around. The sniper was still trying to shoot him. And he got to him close up. And Joe was like, please don't let me do this. And at first, the old man that was trying to shoot Joe, he put his gun down, but then he tried to do a quick one on Joe, and Joe just he shot him. I was just like, look, he had to do what he had to do. So he had to do that and everything. So from that point on, Catherine was in the same neighborhood, and that's the leader of the resistance. She came there with all her people, and they was deep, boy. They was deep as I don't know what. I was like, man, just like in the game. So Henry, he wanted to give himself up. So Catherine was like, no matter what, all y'all gonna be gone. Ellie, she was with the guy that killed people and everything, so she gonna be gone. So Henry, he got up. They was hiding behind his car. He got up and he was holding his hands up. I was like, oh man, they about to take out Henry. So out of nowhere, it was this burning. I know it was this burning car, and the car had went into this building. Now, had went into this house, and at first, it was I don't know. It was just like it was standing. It was just in the building. But then the car, the car had like flipped, and it went underground. So when that happened, and the car was already on fire. So when that happened, all of these infected people came from underground. The clickers, the infected people, and then Joe was in that building where he took down the sniper. He was sniping them down one by one. And it was crazy. It was lots of chaos. Them clickers, they was taking down everybody. So then this big bloater came out. The big bloater came out. I was like, dang. I was like, yo, that big bloater was huge. That big bloater was huge. Yes, that big bloater was huge, y'all. I was like, damn. So, they was trying to take that one out. But, of course, the big bloaters, they need a lot of bullets. So, the Catherine people was trying to take him out. But it was, that bloater so big. So, he was just, just moving around and stuff. But Ellie and Sam and Henry, they was on the run too. They had to run from them. So what happened was Henry and Sam, they was hiding underneath of the car, and one of the clickers had came, and one of them almost got Henry, but one of the other clickers apparently had got Sam and was grabbing his leg. And at first I was like, did the clicker bit him? Because if he did, he was going to be infected. So I was like, Joe came to their rescue. He was sniping them clickers that was right by them. And Ellie looked at Joe, and Joe shot the glass, which gave the attention to the infected to go that way so that Ellie could go and try to help them out. So Ellie killed about like 2 clickers and everything. So it was just crazy. But then Catherine somehow survived all of that. That's the leader of the resistance. She survived all of that, and she had and she wanted to kill Henry, and she said, "This is it, Henry. You're not getting away." And he put his hands up, and out of nowhere, another clicker came up. They all looked at the clicker to get Katherine's attention and make her turn around. She turned around. That clicker came up and just took her out. That clicker came up and took out. That's one of them crazy, man. That was intense though. Them clickers, they are hard to kill. As soon as they hear anything, they go into the sound. They adapt very well to that sound. So that was just crazy. So then all of them, Joe, Ellie, Sam, yep, they all had went into this building, and basically Henry was saying we had to endure and survive, and I was like, yeah, y'all basically did. From all those infected people and the clickers and the bloaters and stuff, you know, they did survive. So Henry told Sam, his little brother, to go to bed in sign language, so he laid down. So then Ellie was trying to talk to him, and then Sam had showed her his scar on his leg, and he wanted her to stay up with him because he couldn't sleep. So Ellie already knew that he was infected, but she didn't want to tell him. I was like, damn. But then it was a real nice moment. Ellie and Sam, they hugged and everything. So the next morning, Ellie got up and Sam was sitting up, and Ellie turned him, like, she tried to like turn him around, and he was turning into the infected person. So he tried to bite Ellie. He bust through the door, and Henry, he had no choice, but he had to take out his little brother. He had to shot us. He had to, because he was infected and all like that. So it was crazy though. That was a crazy scene. Then he turned around and he took himself out too, because you know that was his brother and everything. And I was just like, damn, man, like, you know, that was his brother. So Joel and Ellie, they looked at each other and they was just like, that's just insane. So after that, they Joel and Ellie, they had got their bodies together and they buried them outside. And Joel and Ellie was already, she was like, Joe, where's Wes? And she started hitting Wes, and she told Joe, come on, it's time to go west. And I was like, damn. That's all I could say. I was just like, damn. Like, it was just crazy. I mean, Henry had no choice but to take out his little brother. I mean, or else he probably would have tried to bit Ellie, but even though Ellie was immune, you know, they had to take him out. So I guess he had no other choice, but he took himself out. So I was just like, damn, man. Like, but this was an intense episode. So Henry and Sam is gone. Catherine is gone. And of course her, you know, just it was just crazy. Catherine, man, leader of the resistance, is gone. But of course Henry and Sam, that's like the bigger picture, because just the way everything started, I really thought they was just gonna be with him for a while. But when all that happened, I was just like, that's it. So like I said, this episode was really intense and everything. But I think the big part of this episode was that car burning, and it brung up the big hole for the infected people to come from underground. Because if that wouldn't have happened, then I think Catherine would have already took out Henry, because he was already on the run and everything. But this was a good episode though, and they showed a little bit of episode 6, and I think that's going to be good, because Joel is still going to Wyoming, and he's still looking for his brother Tommy, and I know that's going to be good. But this was a really good episode though. This was a really good episode. That was my favorite. That was one of the craziest parts I ever saw. Joe had took out the sniper. He was sitting there sniping everybody there. I was like, go ahead, Joe. But of course the part with Henry and Sam, that was just intense though. I mean, Henry he didn't know what to do though. It was just intense, but what a episode though. Episode 5, Endure and Survive. That's what Joel and Ellie had to do. Endure and survive. That's what they did. Woo!